Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have another question from Melker. I've referred to him before in this vlog. And he writes and he says, "Hi David, how should I structure my study and practice every day? How do I split my time between reading different books and practicing effects, routines, etc.? For instance, do I focus on one book at a time? Many thanks once again, Melker." You know, this is really an individual thing, what you decide you want to do. But let me try to give you, again, I'll give you my experience, and some of what I do might apply to you, and some of what I do might not. So pick and choose what you want here. I'll just give you what I do. I'm going to give you my daily routine. All right, I get up somewhere between 4 and 5 in the morning. And I generally go out and I take a brisk walk. I don't jog, I don't run. I take a brisk walk through the neighborhood. My neighborhood happens to be quite hilly. So I get those steep hills coming up and it gives me a good heart pump. And I do that because physical exercise is so important. If you neglect physical exercise, if you're all work and no play, it's going to take its toll on you eventually. You need to eat right. You need to eat whole foods and vegetables and fruits and whole grains. You need to walk and exercise, and you need to maintain your health. Now, because your health is everything. Your health drives everything else. So that's a priority for me. It's the first thing I do at the start of the day. I go for a dawn walk. Practice means learning something new, or going over some difficult sleight to make sure that it's polished and clean. Rehearsal is when you either take a set or a routine or the entire show and you go start to finish without a break, rehearsing your speech, your patter, your movements, your choreography. Everything gets rehearsed. I might practice over the course of my day. I might practice many different things. I might take a break from my marketing and practice certain sleights and so on. And then at the end of the day, generally after 3:30, and I'll get to why that's a relevant time, I might do a full rehearsal. But that's the difference between practicing and rehearsing. So you got to make time for both in your daily routine. You need practice time, you need rehearsal time. And believe me, there are routines that I've been doing for 30 years that I still practice, because there are moments in those routines that are prone to error, and I just keep practicing them so that you don't lose. It's not like magic is not like riding a bicycle. I mean, there are certain routines, like, say, for example, the linking rings. I seem to be able to pick up the rings. I might not have picked them up for 3 months. I pick them up and I can do the routine. But a lot of the card stuff is not like that. If you don't practice it on a regular basis, it just doesn't feel as smooth as if you're doing it constantly. So while you're watching television or while you're taking a break from your marketing, you just want your hands to be working. So I kind of do that. Now my prime time for marketing, and again, I'm a full-time professional. So if you're a part-time pro or you're an amateur, this will obviously not apply to you. But in my opinion, prime time for marketing is 9:30 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. And that block of time, 9:30 to 3:30. Is all marketing. Now, I use a combination of direct telephone calls. I'm telephone soliciting, folks. I'm calling people up and asking them to hire me. Or I'm asking for the decision maker, who I will then ask to hire me. I also send out emails. Usually the emails I send out are follow-ups to inquiries. Someone says, "Can I get a video link?" Someone says, "Can I get more information? Can I get some details on this or that?" And I send an email. Sometimes I do solicit by email. I think email is a very ineffective strategy for cold calling. You're going to get a lot of spam or junk or just delete. when you do that. For the cold call, I either do a telephone call or I send a paper letter. A paper letter with my business card in it. And believe me, I have had situations where I've sent a letter to a decision maker. The decision maker's gone on, left the company, gone somewhere else. Someone else has come into the position and they found the letter and called me. Now, if you've sent an email, that will never happen. So I think the hard copy letter is very important. It's a very important part of my marketing strategy, and I recommend it. I spend the bulk of my day, as you can tell, from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. That's a huge block of time, and that's all marketing. If you want to be a successful magician, you're a salesperson. You're selling yourself, you're selling your show, that's your product. Your job is to sell. That's what you do. So you devote that much time to it. At 3:30, I might do a full rehearsal. And when I do a full rehearsal, I have a stopwatch. It's a digital stopwatch, it's electronic. But whatever the show time is, if it's 45 minutes, if it's an hour, if it's a half an hour, I've done 20-minute sets. Whatever it is, I set the time. I put the stopwatch down, start, and I run the rehearsal. And the thing beeps when it's at time, beep, 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 beep. If I finish and it's beeping, it's clean, right? If it's not beeping, I go back through it again and I rehearse until I get whatever show I have coming up, whatever that time frame is, I rehearse to that time so that if I just go through. Now, at the show, things might happen. You have interaction with participants that maybe goes longer than you anticipated. So you need a clock at the show that you're monitoring so you can make adjustments on the fly so you come in exactly on the time that you're allotted. That's an aside. The rest of my evening is devoted to study and practice. And that's when I do the bulk of my reading. I used to read in the morning, but anymore I want to get started. Sometimes I hit the marketing. Sometimes if I'm doing email marketing or I'm preparing letters to go out, I might start doing that at 6 a.m. I just might get an early start on it. So I feel like if I'm not marketing, if I'm not selling, I feel like I'm wasting my time. So especially during the prime time. So I reserve my reading and study to the later part of the day when most of my customers are going home or devoting their time to something else as well. So that's how I do that. Now, as to the question, do I focus on one book at a time? Never. Never. I read, at any given time, I'm reading 2 magic books that have magical content. They're teaching me tricks and effects, and I'm reading at least one magic related history. I think it's so important to study the history of your art. I know very many magicians don't bother, but at any given time I'm reading a magic history. So I also enjoy the lectures that are now available online. For example, the Penguin lectures. I think they're very, very important, and I enjoy watching those as well. But generally speaking, that's the later part of the day. And by the way, my weekend is pretty much the same. Saturday, Sunday, I'm working. I mean, I'm a very religious person, so I take time to celebrate my religion on Sunday and at other specific times. But for the most part, that's my routine. In short, I get up, I do my exercise, I start marketing at the very latest at 9:30. I'm marketing straight through to 3:30. I practice all day long. I'm rehearsing in the afternoon. I'm doing my reading and studying in the evening. And you know what? I thought maybe when I devoted myself to doing magic full time, I thought maybe this would be a grind that I would burn out on. It is not. If I did not have to stop for meals and I did not have to stop to sleep, I would not. I love magic so much that I would do it 24/7 if I could. So Melker, I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe down below. Please add any comments or suggestions or questions. Please put them down here. I love your comments and suggestions. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.